Hello and welcome back. It is time to get straight back into the Campus Series North America. My name is DK, and with me, of course, is Span Goga. Span, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Cannot wait to see what's going to happen on week 2, day 2 of these games. You know, we had a lot of expectations coming today, I think, because we already identified that this week these teams are a little bit different than last week's teams. So I want to see if anything's going to change coming to day 2.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm quite excited to see what the teams are going to be bringing to the table here today. Are they going to be continuing onwards with the momentum we saw them yesterday? And as you were, of course, alluding to, we saw a lot more of that calculated play coming in from the teams. It was still aggressive, but there was a little bit more structure to that. You can see there was a lot more thought that actually went into those engagements as the teams got involved into those fights. And I mean, that really changed up the dynamics of what we saw coming through. And I have to say, I'm excited to see whether or not that is going to be the trend once more today, and potentially who could be that team to step up and, you know, just try and steal the show once again.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You know, we've got to go ahead and get a refresher of where these teams are at after yesterday. We'll get that soon, but you know, I'm not quite sure. If I had to choose a team, okay, choose a team really quickly that you think is going to completely, like, flip the script or something. Or what's a team that you think is starting to go on ahead and rise back up?
Ooh, so I gotta say, I'm maybe hoping to see a bit of a performance come in from Goalie Gaming. They were showing a few good strategy yesterday, and they've been in there, you know. So maybe they step it even up more so today. Who would you choose though?
I mean, we already know that No Mercy is just whew, and Game Changers also has been doing pretty well too. A team that I feel like that we kept looking at but we're not like sure where they're going to be at is like both the HQA clubs and Thirst, both the HQAs. Like both of them, like we keep seeing them all the time, but neither of them are like really far up there. So I guess that's a double answer because their names are very similar, but that's who I'm hoping to take a look at for today.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I'm kind of hoping to see another team step up. You know, if it was some of the teams we had yesterday sitting on the not so nice side of that leaderboard looking to push up, that could be definitely something to have. And we did see a little bit of that transition come in. If we look back to what we had last week, we had day 1 happening and kind of unfolding a specific way, and then when we hopped into day 2, we had a little bit of a change up. So I'm hoping to see that come through, and who knows, maybe that could be on the table for the teams looking to push up and be part of the top 10 to move on to the next phase.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You know, everybody loves an underdog story. So yeah, if a team comes in today and really has figured everything out, they did the VOD review, they figured themselves out, and they're able to get themselves into the top 10, like, I'm happy to have them there. Because, you know, that's just going to make the top 10 teams from both weeks, that fight just even more interesting, in my opinion. Because seeing a team that's able to adapt to any kind of a lobby is always interesting to watch, especially if you can see the progress, which you usually can.
Yeah, and what's also quite nice is the transition of the maps that we've got. So usually we see the map starting over on towards Erangel, but here we've changed it up a little bit. You know, we're starting it out over on towards Erangel, and then slowly but surely we could say we start shrinking in size. I always feel like Miramar is just a much bigger map, right? It is,
yeah,
in my opinion, sometimes the biggest map, and then of course you got Erangel, but I know technically they're both kind of the same size if you look at the playable space of the map, but it does feel like, you know, the map of Miramar really allows a lot more for those long-range engagements, trying to take on the opponents before they become too much of a threat, getting into that up-close and personal space. And as we then move on, we eventually end up over on towards Sanark, and that is where the teams then have the opportunity to go absolutely ham to the walls, just get super aggressive and look to apply even more of the strategies. But each map, of course, having its own little bit of intricacies coming through alongside that. I mean, if we look at Sanark, for instance, that is a map on which if you make a mistake, the chances of you getting punished for that is far greater because you are much closer to the opposing teams. And, you know, you have a little bit more of a leniency as we move through the other maps. But we are also going to be having another look at one of the graphics now, having it to pop up on screen.
And waiting for that to happen, we can see that that is the match of the day. We were just talking about that. Starting off on Miramar, then Erangel, then Sandhawk. DK already talked about the difference of each of them, and honestly, I love this order, in my opinion. You usually see Erangel first, not gonna lie, but this time Miramar going down to the smallest. I think it's gonna be interesting, and my favorite is Erangel, but of course we have to go ahead and go through Miramar first. We're getting into it, the video's going, and I'm hoping to see something a little bit different today. We saw a lot of hot drops yesterday. Everything was a little slower, though. People did last for a very long time, but today I want to see something even more different than what we saw yesterday and last week. I'm expecting higher performance, higher gameplay, and more thought, I guess we'll say, going into this one, because I think this group definitely has that ability to, and this is the time to really do so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite looking forward to seeing the teams come in with a few bold maneuvers, right? We've seen teams sometimes come in with what you could almost call a little bit more of I wouldn't say a passive approach, but it is not. They're not really fully playing into their strengths, playing it as best they can, and that's what I'm looking to see, is who's going to be the team to be bold, to step up and say, you know what, we've got this. We're going to go out there. We're going to show them what we've got, and we're just going to come out swinging. So maybe we could see that kind of performance come through from some of these teams here today.
We'll have to wait and see, and this plane path being very far over on that western side, we'll have to wait and see where everybody's going to be jumping. We can already see an interesting choice of actually Los Higos coming in from, who's that, HT down there. Can't quite see everybody dropping just yet so far. I mean, so far so good. The only thing is that definitely I feel like up this plane, since it is a little bit more towards the side, some of these teams might be on top of each other, but it's not. I like that it has a lot of verticality to it. I'm hoping to kind of get a more northern circle. Those are always my favorite. So hopefully everybody will be able to spread out, and we'll have to just wait and see where the first circle's going to go.
Yeah, but of course, in yesterday's first match, that is the match in which we saw the players there from Team Janekas just stepping up and stealing the show, coming in with a pretty strong performance. But now we wait to see who's going to be the team to kind of claim the title here once again today. Will it be the same team from yesterday, or will it be a little bit of a change up? We've got the teams already starting to clump up ever so slightly over in towards our Pozo. We have, of course, two teams dropping down in fairly close proximity. The same can be said over in towards Los Higos, but the rest of the map is fairly open. I mean, San Martin, we've got two teams again dropping in the area with a little bit of a concentration of teams just positioned over on towards that western side.
We can also see there are a couple of groups that have some friends. Los Leones has two teams, but that's pretty usual. Even three teams can kind of loot inside of Los Leones and not run into each other. We saw some people over there by Pozo. There's still a couple of other groups that are kind of clumping together, but haven't seen too much in that kill feed just yet. Watch out. Damn boy, this is the current team that is in that first place position. Sorry, third place position. They were in first for a very long time yesterday. And so now this time, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to retake back that first place position.
Yeah, of course they had a little bit of a taste of that glorious Pulse position. So who knows, maybe they'll be able to make a bit of a change up in their performances. But I'm also curious to see what the players there from No Mercy are going to be doing. As we saw, they were also just stepping it up, but they've got quite a bit of work to do here today. Not only are they going to be looking to maintain that position, but they also now need to try and stop any of the other teams potentially trying to catch up to them.
Yeah, and here we go. We gotta see as well. I mean, their kill points are just eons ahead of everybody else. No Mercy has 32 kill points right now, and the next one, Gully Gaming, only has 19. So I feel like No Mercy is absolutely killing it when it comes to kill points, literally. And the next closest one, 19. It's insane. But it does look like for Tell No One, unfortunately. Tell No One, they're doing well so far, currently in 5th place, but it looks like they gotta continue to be careful. Honestly, Rish playing that perfectly, gonna be able to take down Damn Boy. First Blood. The rest of this team nowhere to be seen. They were just kind of driving around after that plane path to see what else that they could loot up, and it just didn't work out in this case, that 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, a very kind of a split position we've got here, but fortunately there for JP47, it is something that is fairly easy to deal with. Fortunately, the PUBG gods were smiling in his favor, but I'm also curious to see what Horse MIT is going to be doing. We've been seeing a pretty strong play coming in, not only yesterday, but also in the previous week. There, Horse MIT, for me, he kind of just understands it to a certain degree, right? He kind of just knows how to go about the map, how to get into those engagements, and, you know, how to be relatively successful in those attempts.
Ooh, well, kill leader Tino Rich so far with the 1 kill. Gotta go ahead and point that out. Now, yeah, I definitely agree with what you just said. And the next thing, oh man, I'm just taking a look at Poser right now because, like, I feel like that's the place where you usually see, like, a ton of teams. And this time it does have only 2. But usually I see so many, there's, like, not as much action happening this round, which is, we'd already said, it's something that we wanted to go on ahead and see. We wanted people to kind of be more spread out, have a little bit more thought and stuff like that. And it looks like, I mean, we're getting that. This zone being able to pull on over towards this western side as well. We can see that everybody's trying to go on ahead and spread out, slowly filling in all those areas towards the west they couldn't quite reach on that initial plane path. And we're in for a very long ride. Whoa, the 4 going for a little bit of a fly there as well.
But of course, if we look over towards the players there from Tell No One, we see they've already started that rotation into very, very centralized region of the zone. So they should be relatively safe, depending, of course, on which way that zone does decide to go. So now we just need to wait to see where the rest of the lobby is going to be heading up into, where they're going to be moving towards and what rotational positions they're going to be looking to take up, as there's still so much space. We can see that whole eastern side, of course, of the map being completely open for the taking. We do have quite a bit of that congestion now making its way to that more centralized area of the map itself. We've got a few teams also now looking to venture up in it towards Los Leones, AIM being one of those said teams. Now just on the outlying region, we can see, of course, a VTG positioned up ahead. But now it is all down to whether or not the players here from AIM are able to find themselves in a bit of an interesting position. Of course, now Fate and Killg just tempting Fate there as they come rolling down the hills as we jump on to HQA Club. We can see Kiwang now getting caught in a little bit of a tricky spot, but does send out an absolutely beautiful grenade, followed up with an amazing shot, picking up 2 knocks already.
Oh man, this is exactly what I was wanting to see. HQA, both these teams, this one being HQA Club, looks like they're starting off strong. Beautiful nade knock. There's just 2 left over there for Rave. And you can already see that Pig, the other teammate here for HQA Club, already making the big push. Nice hit, some damage onto Mickey up there too, and just a huge aggressive push. Hopefully they'll continue to play this well just all together and not do anything too drastic. But wait a second, they're trying to get away in a vehicle.
That is definitely going to be not the easiest position for them to play, as the players here from HQA Club just step up, utilizing the opportunity here. Now everything comes down to Fernan to try and make something from this position. He doesn't have many options though, because we see another team positioned just over on towards that southeastern side, and of course we see the pressure being applied from the HQA Club.
Ooh, not a good place to be in now. They went up a little bit too high, taking some looks over there. Trying to shoot off Team Chinekis. It doesn't look like they're too interested in coming any closer, though. I mean, this is completely out in the open, so it's not too good of an idea to anyway. But unfortunately, I mean, hopefully they'll be able to get the res onto their one teammate. It looks like it's already underway, and then they really got to figure out a safer place to play out of this, because they were only in this region because they were trying to chase a team. There it is. There's another one. Another one, unfortunately, gets knocked. Some insane bolty shots coming through from the Chinekis team, by the way. But right now, HQA Club, they just got to back up after not being able to fully chase the members of Rave.
Yeah, I mean, that is sometimes a little bit of a sacrifice that you've got to make. You have to take into consideration that if you chase up behind the team, you could potentially find yourself in not the best position. But that is something you need to try and deal with. And speaking about dealing with, Goaty Gaming is going to be looking to apply a bit of pressure on it to the players here from Tell No One. But it does seem we've got like a little bit of a split drop rather, coming in from them as that zone now centers up over on towards the northwestern side. It is still going to be a little bit of a fight over on towards the eastern side here.
Yeah, a lot of teams over there trying to find a spot inside of zone is going to be a little bit hectic. Not enough space, too many people, the usual suspect of issues inside of a game like this. So we're going to be seeing a lot of fighting over on that edge of the map. Meanwhile, the entire opposite side, up in that northwestern side, completely empty. We can see one team coming from Opposa that's going to be able to fill that, but wouldn't be surprised to see some teams maybe along the edges make a rotation along the side of the circle to get to the complete other side. But we're definitely going to see some action here first. At least I would hope that some teams are going to be making a rotation around. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm really enjoying this region of the map. It does provide, you know, quite a bit of a challenge to the teams. They've got all these mountainous regions to try and cope with, but also we do have a few of those open fields, and this really does, you know, kind of force the teams to come up with those strategies, how to try and best utilize the terrain they have at their disposal. And speaking about terrain, we see HQA now just moving in, utilizing the hard cover that we have just below the players here from Goalie Esports, or Goalie Gaming rather.
There you go, taking a lot of looks towards them. I mean, HQA Thirst, another team that I said I want to take a look at just because of their names. And because, I mean, they're close. They're really close to the 10th spot, but not quite there. HQA Club in 11th, that Thirst coming in 14th right now. Like, Thirst definitely needs to go ahead and step it up a little bit if they're hoping to be in that qualifying range for today. They only have 3 games today to go ahead and turn that around. So taking a look towards Goalie Gaming, I mean, that would have been like a nice thing that they could have taken some shots at, but Goalie Gaming is above them. So, like, they're in the prime spot to basically bully HQA Thirst, unfortunately. That's why I think they're kind of just huddling on up inside of those shanties over there for now.
Yeah, a really controlling position they have, and we gotta wait and see whether or not they're gonna choose to actually bully them into submission, send them all the way backing into that lobby once again. But I mean, this is such a beautiful position. As we can see, Leo just utilizing the heck out of that.
I mean, this is also a great spot just to get a lot of knowledge. So Goalie Gaming, they're going to probably be up here for a long while, especially because it's not in that bad of an area. I mean, the very center of the circle is more towards San Martin, but being over here right above Minas, I mean, they're going to get a lot of information. They could see that those buildings across the street from them are completely clear for right now. So if this zone shifts anywhere certain, they can just make the rotation. They can see what's free. They can see where people are. So I would definitely want a location like this on a zone like this to really be ready for the next couple of zone shifts. There's a couple other places that you can do that, such as, well, take a look at this. Team Supreme kind of jumping up on some hills here too, as well as they're trying to get further in zone. So they're just trying to set themselves up for the next shift.
Yeah, but I kind of understand why the teams are playing that. I mean, we still have 17 teams remaining in this lobby, so that is still going to be a pretty crazy number to try and compete with 59 players surviving, and we're already 12 minutes in. So as we get closer to that 3rd and 4th phase, this is where the teams are going to be put to the test, looking to see if they can position themselves in a strong angle, looking to just make a bit of a stand as the rest of the lobby now starts rotating in. And I think this is where these high ground positions are going to be becoming absolutely essential as we now move a little bit closer to that open field region of the map itself.
Oh man, the one team in that compound just in the intersection of the road, they're going to be very happy there. Last time we looked at it, it was Team Chinakas, but is that the same team? I don't think so. I think I saw somebody else there. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing we do know, it looks like people have decided to go ahead and move over here to one of these buildings and tell no one. They're taking names. They're taking specifically some kills. 2 of them are currently down. There's 2 left here. Let's see if Yar's going to be able to take them down as well. They have a ton of bullets in there to clip that M249, definitely coming in handy, but unfortunately for them, Aurora is going to be able to get that knock, and teammate a little tiny bit too far away. They're on that ridge, but we can see that Rush JP47 starting to make the big push, or the nade come through. They just need to go on ahead and get rid of these last couple of people, but it's currently a 2v2, so they also still have to be careful.
Yeah, this is definitely where we're going to see both these teams really being challenged as all these angles now being thoroughly utilized. Tell no one. Rish rather getting ready for that rush with JP, and then of course Yar now also just looking to reinforce that position. But now this whole kind of slowdown we see coming in here from Tell No One has actually allowed the players here from HQA Club to get that opportunity to reset, get those health bars back up, and I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to be a position that Tell No One will be able to play, because HQA they've now reset. They've started to spread themselves out again, and with that already we can see the grenades getting sent out as Yar gets picked right enough. Up comes the rush around the corner. The hits flying their way on towards the Resh, and now it is down to JP47 to try and make that position work. But of course, he is now resorting to putting a little bit of distance in between himself and the players coming in here from HQA.
Yeah, he just wants to go ahead and back up at this point. He wants to try to survive as long as possible to get those plates and points for the team. The thing is that there's an entire 4-man team trying to search him out. Unfortunately, Tell No One didn't go ahead and push or flush the kills that they had gotten when they had the advantage, and that just meant that they were able to crawl back to safety and get res. That was a huge mistake on Tell No One's part, and we can see how that result is. Just this one solo tries to survive, but unfortunately, no, Tell No One will be eliminated.
Yeah, an HQA club, of course, definitely not disappointing with how they kind of just dealt with that situation. I think the saving grace for them there was that opportunity they had to reset, get themselves ready for the follow-up engagement. Of course, now speaking about engagements, we see the players here from Desi Conquerors just getting a little bit closer as they make their way up on towards the southern edge of the zone. Right up in front of them, we've got some pretty interesting positions, though. I mean, these compounds can at times be relatively difficult to breach, and this is where the players from Fortune Esports have a slight advantage for the time being. They are in a position where they can just look to play these angles, as Desi Conquerors have to make the push to get up in towards the zone.
I love this kind of a zone. This zone is so interesting to me. Everybody needs to go ahead and start cramming themselves into a really small space with honestly not a lot of cover to play inside of. There is a lot of opportunity for the terrain to be utilized, though, but still not enough space for 14 whole teams, and it looks like the fight has finally started. This isn't even inside zone. I think Desi Conquerors, taking a look at where this next zone just shifted, is like, wow, we are literally the furthest away. We should just take this fight and see what points we can pick up. Nice push coming in from Ignis, is able to get the knock on a one, and the teammate gets the trade onto the next person as well. One currently knocked, the others are currently still up but low HP. The flush is starting to come through. I think the enemy right now, though, still has only 2 up, and unfortunately for Bus, he's not with another teammate, but still Legends able to go ahead and get the trade. Fortune Esports eliminated. Desi Conquerors can go ahead and get the 1 teammate back up. Oh man, they got the 4 kills, but there's only a half of a team left.
Yeah, that was a really good play, but with that, of course, Hometown loses Jot right there as the shots come through. One shot now coming under fire as well. The vehicle getting exploded, reduced down to very low health, but is able to apply that first aid, that med kit, just looking to get their health bar back into a decent position. But look at this, man, this is going to be absolute chaos. We still have 13 teams remaining. We are coming to the end of that 4th phase with the blue zone making its way in, and once we jump into 5th, that is where the blue zone itself is going to be absolutely devastating to any team still positioned outside.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be out there. Everybody needs to try and find a spot, so that's what they're trying to do. Oh man, we can even see Mavericks. They're trying to go ahead and find a viable place to play all the way on this eastern side, but all they have is really a rock. Otherwise, this is entirely out in the open. Everybody in the compounds will definitely be able to see them, so they're just trying to hide by a tree, by a rock. At this point, if you're stuck like this, the best thing to do is crash, right? If you know you're not in a good position, you just need to crash something that you know is going to be in the next circle, because that'll give you the highest probability of living, not going to lie, because right now they're just kind of holding on until the very end. They're just going to get killed as they're trying to make the rotation. So crashing a compound like towards the center, I mean, huge risk, but huge reward.
Yeah, but of course the teams need to be comfortable with handling situations like that. I mean, there's nothing worse than a team trying to crash and all they're doing is essentially just delivering themselves on a lovely silver platter to one of the teams position up ahead. But now they're going to have to make that decision as we are coming to the end of this 4th phase. Blue zone is about to be upon us, and looking at the position we've got over on towards this eastern side, the teams will not have it easy whatsoever. Of course, the Mavericks coming under fire as Team Chinekes is trying to lay down those hits. But if we look at that kill feed, though, I mean, HQA Club, they've already been able to sneak in 10 kills, and we're only in the 4th phase.
It's just so many. They've been running around so far. The next one is 4. We definitely saw that fight already. Everybody else has been kind of just taking it pretty safe, not gonna lie. Team Chinekes have finally spotted out that team over there on the eastern side. They're not inside zone. We can see the team in the compound to the north also taking shots at them, getting them knocked. Desi Conquerors, no way! Desi Conquerors actually goes ahead and gets eliminated. That was the next team that had the most amount of kills, but they were also the furthest teams from zone, so they really tried to get inside zone, but since they weren't comfortably inside of it already, other teams were just able to take them out on those rotations. So let's see what everybody else here is going to do. If they wait too long, they're going to find themselves in a little bit of a pickle, just like Desi Conquerors.
Yeah, pickles are nice, but not nice within the game itself. We can see the players here from Hometown and now just getting sent away one by one as they find themselves alongside the players here from the HQA club. Once again, Team Chinekes now looking to make a little bit of a stand. They're setting up a little bit of a bottleneck potential play as we can see them positioned over on towards that southeastern side. But the rest of the lobby, I mean, we still see so many teams positioned outside, and up comes those players on towards Team Chinekes as they find themselves up close and personal with HQA club.
Yeah, now it's just one of them left. I don't understand quite how they were able to get pushed like this. Usually the team inside of the compound has the advantage, but HQA Club, they're already on a roll, so why not just go ahead and there you go. They realized that they should crash the compound that they know is going to be good for them for quite a while, and because of that, they have eliminated Team Chinekes, and now they have 13 total kills. They can go ahead and worry about getting into the next zone or further in or taking a look at the road next time. Currently getting pushed by that other team that was to the east, but up to the north, the other HQA Thirst, currently fighting a team directly in front of them. Goliath, our team currently in second place.
Yeah, and this is going to be such an interesting potential zone. I mean, looking at the momentum that HQA Thirst is building up here, we could very well see them push all the way through into that final zone, meeting up with HQA Club, and then finally we could have that fight that you were wanting to see yesterday with both the HQAs fighting it out with each other potentially. But first we have to see where these teams are going to be going. Currently BU Generation Z are going to be looking to push in from that northern side. The 4 of course positioned up ahead of them, and this time around the 4 are still sitting on all 4 players up.
True. Now that it isn't ironically 3 of them, but they're the 4. So the 4 is actually the 4 this time. That's pretty nice to see. But they have a compound. They don't really have to move. So I'm kind of surprised that BU Generation Z is taking it kind of slow, as if that they're going to be moving on out. I don't think they're going to until this next zone will pop. The 4 right now is just trying to go ahead and protect the area around them. And now this zone is going to force them to move. The best thing at this point is probably just start sweeping edge. So they might push up to the north actually and find BU Generation Z to get in a fight with.
Yeah, and looking at where these teams currently are positioned, we might very well see both Club and Thirst having a swing at each other as they do find themselves in pretty close proximity on towards that eastern side. But I gotta agree, around the west, this is where the 4 needs to try and make that play. And are they going to choose to push straight up into the zone, or are they going to adopt that approach, rotating along that northern edge, looking to clear it out, taking the players there from BU Generation Z alongside them? Meanwhile, up into the far north, we can see Leo there from goalie just positioned, but the 4, they are swinging their way on through as they aggress onto the players here from BU Generation Z. Of course, looking to smoke up their vehicles. They've taken a few hits in the process. They've also been able to find that first knock in, but now they need to push up and close it out with Shadow. Of course, Amy is going to be found out in the open. Not the best position to be in, but I mean, it was a rush and I kind of understand that, but unfortunately the players here from HQA Thirst are just lying in wait, ready to receive any kills coming their way, and of course Club doing exactly the same.
Yeah, nice shots going up onto the road. We knew that they were going to be moving to the road, but the thing is that they need to get rid of all the people that was going to be holding them out. It looks like they're able to take away a couple, but now HQA Club making the push towards HQA Thirst. It's not looking too good. And this is a little bit more damage than what HQA Club, I assume, was expecting here, but luckily, I mean, it's Thirst. There we go. This is the fight we were waiting for. Another one goes down. The flush starts happening. I think there's one more, but they're currently down the other edge of the little hill there. Can't quite reach them just yet, but might have a little bit of a nasty surprise if they go further. And there it is. Looks like Pig is going to go ahead and get knocked. Time Bolt is going to be getting the knock, but it doesn't matter. HQA Thirst is still eliminated. It looks like HQA Club is the one that comes out on top.
Yeah, well, there we go. There we have it. We have our answer that you were looking to have answered just yesterday, but it is now down to our final 3 teams. We got the 4, the only team sitting on a 4-man team. Of course, we got a hometown reduced down to 1 with the players there from HQA Club currently sitting on their last 2 survivors. Bullshark just playing that ridge, looking to find their way back up into zone. Up comes the care package as well, just trying to add the cherry on top. But the teams will now have to fight it out if they want to try and secure the winner with a chicken dinner. But looking at the position we have here for the 4, this looks to be quite the strong position. They've got a lot of your hard cover to utilize. The ridge line's not working out in their favor. It does favor the players there from HQA Club. Of course, a little bit more, but it is going to come down to those situational plays and whether or not they'll be able to take that play. Now, the zone shifts up right towards Club.
Yeah, that means everybody has to make a rotation towards them. Because of that, it looks like Bullshark is just going to go ahead and take that hit. Hometown eliminated from the blue zone. They had a singular kill. But I mean, I guess a singular kill in the 3rd place isn't too shabby. But now it's down to HQA Club versus the 4. HQA Club, you know, they only have 2 people. The 4 has 4. It's not looking too good. They're going to have to start off with a bunch of knocks. And it looks like Aurora definitely is, but oh, don't get knocked. It looks like the 4 almost ended up getting Aurora back.
Yeah, oh, beautiful shot coming in there from Aurora, but now the pressure is on the 4. They need to handle the situation with near perfect execution as they make their way forward. The pressure is going to be on them now as the HQA Club have the high ground. They have the ridge lines, but they need to try and move in if they are looking to push up against HQA Club. And this is where the 4 now have been reduced down to 3 as they still hold on to their positions. They haven't advanced much forward just yet, but they can't really afford to do that as HQA Club are just playing this ridgeline absolutely phenomenally, already sitting on 22 kills here, Span.
Absolutely disgusting, and they obviously want more, so they have the advantage. They get to stand at the very top of the hill and just wait. They're in charge of the peaks. They just have to wait until the 4 to make a little bit of a mistake, peek on out from behind the cylinders, start making a move up towards the hill, and HQA Club, they're just going to be waiting for them patiently because 1, they can, 2, they have the better spot. So even though they only have 2 of them left and the 4 has the man advantage, I already said it, if HQA Club is able to get at least 1-2 downs, then it's back to equal, and I would definitely be putting my bet on HQA Club.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at how they've been handling themselves so far through this match, I think this is an absolute runaway performance we've been seeing coming in from them. With that, they step up, they find the knock right on towards Revenge. Bright coming in with a beautiful angle. Aurora cooking up the nade, sending it in. Is it going to be the one? It finds a little bit of damage. Cooking up another. Oh, beautiful barrage shot coming through as those utilities get sent up. Up comes the rush as Aurora's pushing forward. UA, up ahead.
No.
Beautiful hit, though.
Wow, UV able to go ahead and kind of save this for the team so far. It's just him left. It's a 1v1, so it's UV versus Bright. And with that last nade, though, that is it. The 4 has been eliminated, and HQA Club wins this match with 25 kills and a damage of 4,106. Disgusting.
Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting. It is dirty, it's filthy, it's absolutely amazing to see, though. I mean, HQA Club just running away with this match, bringing in an insane amount of kills. But if you've got to look at that damage, that is the equivalent of 41 kills. That is just absolutely insane. And I mean, big ups to HQA Club. They were able to just ride out that ridge line for as long as they possibly could, just utilizing all those angles. And I really do think that they are going to be giving us an absolute beast mode performance here today.
I do not disagree. I think that they definitely have a purpose for this. They're just on the edge of getting into that top 10 placement, and they're going to go ahead and achieve it today. They weren't too far to begin with, but I think that they definitely, that's their mission, and they're going to go ahead and prove it to us.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I am now quite excited to see what our remaining 2 maps will have in store for us. But of course, speaking about maps, we need to have a look our match points distribution, how much these teams were able to bring in after just this first match, and how that then impacts our overall leaderboard. I'm expecting to see the players coming in there from the side of HQA Club to sit on at least a 40-pointer, and I mean, that is something we don't see too often. And, well, sure as Bob, there it is. 40 points for HQA Club. Absolutely insane stuff. Of course, with the players there from 4 finishing off really strong on 16 points. And, of course, we got the other HQA team, HQA Thirst, securing themselves 14 points while finishing up in 1st place.
I would just like to say, I think I brought them a little bit of luck, I would like to think, by saying HQA Club and Thirst. But, you know, that's speculation. They were ready. They were prepared. They were definitely one of those teams that are just like, okay, we got to go ahead and change things up and get prepared, get ready, and jump to the top. And HQA Club, you know, last time, they started this match this entire day with 15 total points, and just getting 40 on top of that, I'm interested to see where they're going to be on the overall leaderboard, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere at least in the top 5, maybe even top 4. That is an insane number for a singular game. Now everybody else that ended up getting not as many points, they're definitely going to be taking a look at that and be like, okay, well, I was in the top 10, now I have to go ahead and change things, like HQA Club clearly did.
Yeah, I mean, this is also doing absolute wonders for the HQA Club team morale. Coming in with an absolutely insane game does really set them up. It does also set the bar quite high. You know, we're expecting them to kind of meet that standard as they progress through the rest of the day, and it's going to be exciting to see whether or not that is exactly what they'll be doing. But of course, we need to see how this then impacts our overall leaderboard, where the teams find themselves, and whether or not this one single performance coming in from the players of HQA Club was enough to push them up. And of course, that is still our daily one. Is going to jump into overall, and we'll look at that. Of course, they've jumped all the way up into 2nd place.
Well, you know, my guess was top 4, but 2nd place, that's definitely more than what I was expecting. They're probably ecstatic right now with that knowledge. They got 2nd place from a singular match, and they still have 2 to go. I could probably say, I mean, I would say that they would be safe at this point, since the cutoff is clearly 26 points, but honestly, anybody else could, I guess, go on ahead and have games like that as well. So at this point, they got to go on ahead and look at that as inspiration, try to jump up. HQA Club, I think, has definitely secured their spot with this one match.
Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be quite a bit of pressure coming in, as anywhere from that 6th position moving downwards. I don't think they are 100% sure with that spot just yet. It's not 100% secured, so they gotta step up. They gotta bring in those extra performances, and who knows, maybe we could see the players there from Mavericks and potentially Desi Conquerors bring in a few clutches. They of course still have 2 matches to get that done. I'm being hopeful. You gotta put it out there. You know, it's like you gotta call for the dark horses that we see. You know, just step up, bring those plays, bring those performances in, and of course, why not do that? Next up, we are going to be heading straight up in towards Wrangle. It is a match which will allow the teams to bring in, you know, a little bit more of a comfortable approach, but I gotta say, our top 5 teams, they are looking pretty good, pretty golden, with not a lot separating that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Only 1 point separating them, of course. And I mean, even that entry point into the top 10, it is also still very, very close. So if you look from 8th all the way down to 13th, that is only a 4-point difference. So yes, one good game could definitely bring quite a bit of change up into this leaderboard.
Yeah, right now, nobody is quite safe except for the people at the very, very top. So these last 2 matches are going to still very much matter for the majority of these teams. Interested to see what they're going to change, or if we might see something spicy for these last 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see that spice level turned up as high as possible. Me, myself, I like spicy food. The hotter, the better. And, I mean, starting it off with this match, that is exactly what we got. You know, we got a pretty high and hot match right there. I'm looking to see whether or not the teams are going to be able to beat that, as we still have 2 left. I mean, if this is the way that they start the largest map of the 3, I mean, just imagine what we're going to get once we make our way all the way over on towards Cernak. I think it's going to be absolutely on fire. And of course, we are going to be taking a look at our MVP teams as well, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise today to see who that is. I've got a good idea that it is most likely going to be the players here from HQA Club. So let's see whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong. Span, any calls before we change?
I mean, I would assume it's HQA Club as well. Okay.
All right, so let's jump into our MVPs to see who exactly it is gonna be. And how accurate we are in our guesstimation. Well, I wouldn't call it much of a guesstimation anymore. I think HQA were pretty on point with that. So, yeah, now we're just waiting to hop straight into that to see who our MVPs are. And, of course, without much surprise, it is going to be the players from HQA Club coming in with an absolutely insane amount of damage, insane amount of kills. But, Span, they started off with 4 grenade kills.
You know, you'll love to see it. Love to see that utility come into play. That's absolutely insane. 21 assists, 25 kills, also insane. 4,185, insane. I don't even know what to say. HQA, that was just an insane game. I don't know if I expected that whatsoever, especially from our first match coming into day 2. Just do it again. I want to see it again.
Yeah, so I think if you open up the dictionary and you looked up HQA Club, right next to them it would probably say insane. Like that is what they are. That is how they've been performing just in this first singular match. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see whether or not they'll be able to continue with that momentum throughout the rest of the day, moving into the 2 remaining games. But we also need to have a look and see who our MVP player is so far for this day. As I mean, this is just, yeah. I mean, insane. I know it is a very descriptive word, but like I feel like it kind of fits. You know, like it makes sense to see that. Like, I can already imagine that in the dictionary. And as we jump in, we got Sup Pig stepping in with 4 kills, 8 assists, and then of course 1170 damage being dealt.
Great gameplay coming through from them. I mean, it's just always nice to see, like, if a team kind of struggled on the first day. It wasn't terrible. They were in 11th place, but the second match coming in, having a clear mission, clear thoughts, they know exactly what they need to do, and then being able to go on ahead and pull that off. There's always something very satisfying about that. Of course, the other teams not gonna like that whatsoever, but now this is their chance to go on ahead and get a little bit of a wake-up call and kind of turn it around. There's only 2 matches left, so it's kind of difficult to do so, but it's clearly possible.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so exciting is this is just showing the possibility for the teams. They see that it is something that they could accomplish, something that they could indeed pull off. So this is going to be quite an exciting day. Looking to see whether or not these teams are going to be looking to change that up, step up, grab some absolutely beast level gameplay. Already we know the players here from HQA are doing exactly that. And well, we are getting ready. Of course, the next map up is going to be right towards Erangel. So we're going to be jumping into our maps of the day just to remind everyone what we have coming up next. And it does also seem like we've got that Erangel already set up and ready to roll. But of course, let's have a look at our maps of the day once again, just to remind everyone where we are going for the day. Of course, next up is going to be Erangel, after which we'll be jumping straight up in towards Sanark. We've already completed the first one. Murmur done and dusted. Now, Span, you said you wanted to see a little bit more insanity. Who do you think is going to be the team to bring that to the table here?
For second match, I mean, oh man, HQA Club already brought that. A different team that could potentially bring that. You know, I'm just going to choose the 4. Let's see what they're going to go on ahead and do. They ended up doing pretty well day 1. We keep seeing them every single match that's played. I want to see them go on ahead and do something this match.
Okay, all right. And also, because they were able to hold the 4 all the way till that final zone before taking up that final fight. And I mean, that is actually quite a good change up in the consistency as well, because yesterday we saw the 4 being reduced to 3 every single match relatively early in the game. So the pressure is going to be on, looking to see whether or not that is exactly what we'll have. And again, some beautiful scenery coming in here for this for Erangel. I wish I could go there actually. But if you could go there, where would you go?
Erangel? If I could go to Erangel, where would I go? Is that your question? I mean, I wouldn't want to go anywhere here. This place is scary, but I mean, I don't know. I'm a Pochinki person. I used to always just drop Pochinki with my squad, so probably there. I even have a shirt that says, like, straight out of Pochinki, so I feel like that's my hometown.
Not a bad choice. So yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool if we could go on a CD group. And of course, you know, this is where we need to be jealous of the teams, because they now have this opportunity to go right on towards Erangel. Even though the flight path is coming in on that southern edge, they'll have the ability to position themselves relatively anywhere they want on that map. It is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, of course, to reach further up towards the north, up in towards, say, for instance, Yasnaya, Shooting Range, Georgia Ball, Rozhok, and the likes. But, I mean, right on towards Military Base, we can see we've got two teams dropping down into two separate spots. We've got a little bit of a occupation coming into Nova. We've got AIM heading straight up into the military base itself, but I'm liking this whole line of players just moving up onto the north, and I'm expecting the zone to maybe add an extra level of spice to this.
Definitely extra level of spice, seeing where everybody's going to go. Unfortunately for Rave Esports, Seth, their game is going to end almost immediately. They're down here below Milta Power. First blood goes towards the 4. Okay. And let's see what the rest of Rave Esports is going to be able to pull out of this, as the 4 are directly on top of them. The thing is it looks like the majority of them across the street trying to run over now to help out their teammate. But Mickey here has a gun, has some armor, and the push might be coming through. The thing is that they're about to be completely outnumbered. UV knows not to peek whatsoever. Mickey, if he's planning on doing something, he has to do it now, otherwise it's going to be a 3v1. Oh.
Yeah, definitely quite a bit of an there. Aurora already starting it off with the first few hits, but I'm curious to see what Mickey's going to do. I mean, seeing the name brings the song to mind, so let's see whether or not Mickey can uphold that standard as they find themselves in a little bit of an interesting position. Mickey already getting down there as UV comes in swinging. I'm not quite sure where the rest of Rave is. This is definitely not where Mickey wants to be, and well, that's it. Gets sent right away into the lobby.
They're in mini Milta Power. There we are. There's one of them. Taking a look at a completely different building. I wonder if there's a couple of teams that probably couldn't go ahead and help out their teammates. But look at that. There's my hometown, Pachinki. There's a couple of teams fighting over it. And it looks like a big shotgun's coming into play. And a knock will come through. Desi Conquerors, another team that you wanted to keep an eye on. Looks like they had gotten a knock, and they were able to go ahead and trade it. The rest can't quite come through just yet, though, because Game Changers is still trying to be aggressive on top of Dusty Conquerors. I definitely would not want to be doing a res on top of the roof here, and I think that's probably what Actus ended up saying to the teammate, like, go back inside, and you just saw him slowly crawl back.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I mean, Actus is just absolutely on point when it comes in with that DBS. That thing is just a beast in the right hands, and now the pressure comes to the players here from Desi Conquerors, looking to get those races back up. Of course, we can see Brar just hiding in the bush, looking for that angle, looking for that spot. Boss also making their way, just looking to tighten up their position here, but so far the players actually coming in from Game Changers, they have a decent angle here, a decent approach, and with that Boss, find himself in a little bit of a tricky position.
Yeah, I just got smacked a singular time with a gun. He stepped back down to half HP, and that nade actually gonna save him. Oh no, it doesn't save him. I thought it went straight into the bathroom there, but it didn't, and actually bounced off, and Boss goes down. Doesn't even have an option to react to that, landing directly beside him. So now, of course, we still have 3 members left here for Desi Conquerors against these members from Game Conquerors, but the push coming through, trying to go ahead and get these last 2 members. They still have to be careful and quick enough to be able to go get the res on their last member Boss.
Yeah, it is going to be high stakes all across the board. Up comes Brar, and down he goes. Actus coming in with a nice save on that nade. He's going to step up and clutch it out. Does step up with Uzi, finds the one, but gets distracted, gets taken right on down. Now it is up to Legend. Is he going to get it? No!
Wow. What?
Man.
It was actually, oh man, it was Actus nade that, no, Desi Conquerors knocked their own teammate there, and that's what went wrong right there. When they ran inside the building, one of them had tossed the nade. I guess that wasn't communicated, and that's where that fight just turned around. That is an unfortunate end to a big fight in Pachinki, but I mean, there has to be a singular winner, and it looks like it's not going to be Desi Conquerors. Another city as well with a big fight, though. Hometown. And of course, it looks like Mavericks. They need to be getting in this fight, and they have to win it.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely important fight now for them, as we can see already. The reinforcements are making their way straight up in towards Malta, as we've got Aya and Beast now on the approach. It is going to be up towards FaZe. And of course, Gem E, I guess, looking to make a bit of a stand. You can see, of course, they're just trying now to gather the information, trying to figure out where exactly Hometown is currently situated with Jat just on the opposite end, holding on towards a bit of an interesting spot there. I mean, we've got the compounds, but it doesn't seem like Judd is within the compound. He is, in fact, on the opposite end of that. And One Shot also just holding that angle very, very patiently. But I got to say, like, Jagger and Bullshark, I like this position because it does seem like the rest of the team is looking to just bring in a bit of a distraction while, you know, Jagger and Bullshark get ready to approach.
Could be. I mean, I wouldn't want to be making any sort of a cross right now. Maverick's definitely taking a look on over them. I do like that they're nice and spread out. Hometown, they have the entirety of North Milton to themselves. One of them could be crossing for right now, but honestly, neither of these teams look to really be starting to do anything, not gonna lie. They're kind of just staring at each other in those directions for right now. Probably just waiting for some sort of clear advantage, but not moving to try and create it. I do see Jet, though, on the other side of the road, other than the northern side. Maybe he'll start making a move on over towards the west, maybe run into Mavericks, but of course has to be careful at the same token since he is a solo down there.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely going to be on, but I'm curious to see how Hometown is going to try and take this approach. I mean, they are relatively spread out. But of course, speaking about spread out, that is what we see come through here for Fortune Esports as a Bean. Should have been positioned with the rest of his team. Now gets punished for that. And the players here from VTG, even though it's only a two-man team, are able to cause a little bit of harm coming on towards the players here from Fortune. But, I mean, we've seen Spring also, he gave quite a few swings yesterday, and I'm curious to see whether or not we're going to see that improvement come through for Spring as VTG have yet another opportunity to make something great happen here.
I'll have to wait and see. Fortune Esports, it looks like they have somebody kind of on their tail. Yeah, Yoshi literally has somebody directly behind them. Interested to see if they're going to end up crashing, running into each other. But it does look like our Milta fight has finally come underway. At least they started actually shooting bullets towards each other, which is always the start of a fight. But there we go. Mavericks, they're starting to make a move. They have identified, I guess, that Jet is really close by in those little triplets there, just to the north of them. Yeah, and it even looks like Gem is looking in that direction as well because they heard or know that somebody's down there. But this split could be their end as well. We'll see if Hometown can actually cross this to protect their teammate or if Gem is going to be able to continue to hold them out.
Yeah, and then of course we see another team just over on towards that western side. So who knows, maybe if they get into this fight, they could be drawing in a little bit of that unwanted position. Of course, the team we are going to be watching out to see what they'll be doing right here on Erangel is going to be HQA Club, already with one confirm on board. Ooh, and now they start rushing straight on forward as we can see the pressure now looking to be applied once again. We got... Is that Shotya? Yes, Shotya just up ahead, completely isolated in the building. Of course, the grenades getting cooked up, getting sent on through, but now it is going to come down to the rush. Will HQA Club be able to push in and steal the possession of this compound?
Time to wait and see. It does look like Fortune Esports slowly going to be taken out, flushed out. Away they go. The rest of them trying to drive around to find some place to call home. And we can kind of see on that mini-map, they're very spread apart, actually. This zone kind of centering around Yasnaya, Poliana. The majority of these teams still down to the southern side of that new zone. That's because they're just haven't had the time to be able to get into the new zone, spread out just yet. Just the majority of people in the south, that's going to create a lot of fighting, just like the fighting that's happening right here.
Yeah, now definitely the Mavericks. I mean, I'm hoping that this is the game in which they're able to bring in a few more of those points, as we know they are in dire need of that. But that, of course, is going to rest solely on their shoulders, whether or not they're going to step it up. They still have the numbers in their favor here. Not that it makes too much of a difference. Hometown is also still sitting on their full squad, but they have that close position in the team. They are able, of course, to leverage all four of those weapons. And speaking about leveraging, the four are going to come out swinging once again as they now pick away at the players from Supreme. Up ahead, getting that one knock, getting sent on through. We do have a few hits, of course, coming in the kill feed all the way over from towards Malta, but now up comes the four, getting ready to get aggressive as they push forward, looking now to get those confirms, and Pew Pew doesn't even waste a single bullet, just knocks QT right on down with the vehicle.
Yep, the rest of them starting to make a push on over. They know that there's somebody close by taking some shots, but no, they are getting away. So back into the vehicles they go. The 4 is clearly chasing something. But back, of course, to Milta. You already said it. Some people are knocked. You can see Bullshark currently downed. Mavericks, getting absolutely bullied with some nades. It doesn't look like they're gone too far just yet, though. Beast, though, on a speck of HP will be taken down there, and that is the Mavericks eliminated. A majority of them were down, and those last few nades will go ahead and do the trick. Of course, the rest on the Bullshark too. Looks like Hometown got 4 kills. 4 people up.
Yes, indeed, they did. But now we make our way back up on towards Yasnaya with the players here from Supreme. Having a lost QT already as we saw those knocks come through. But this is going to be quite an interesting position to play. I'm not quite sure whether or not Supreme knew that there was another team already positioned here. As we can see the players from AIM Esports holding on towards this eastern side. And this is actually quite a strong compound to be in. Of course, depending on where the opposing team is. But we've seen a lot of success actually come from this exact position so many times before.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not a bad place to be whatsoever. This is, again, exactly like those locations that we were talking about on Miramar. It's a nice place to be able to see where everybody is around you, identify places that are open, waiting for the next zone to be able to shift, and it's kind of an untouchable space, especially with the big fencing around it. It's really hard to go ahead and crash onto that and, be taken out of there. But that was also a really nice bridge camp, I gotta say. That's kind of an unfortunate situation. Didn't expect that to happen at all.
Yeah, that was a poor old Zohan getting taken right there. I'm still waiting to see when the Zohan is going to step up. You know, there's even a movie that says you do not mess with the Zohan. So far, we haven't seen much of that coming through just yet. But of course, the players here from AIM are going to be looking to reposition as the zone has now popped up. You see those... the players getting ready to push. But speaking about pushing, VTG Creeper finds himself at a little bit of a challenging spot. BU, Generation Z also rotating up alongside them, but this could be a beautiful opportunity now as Creeper starts firing away, looking to pick up a few hits, but it is, of course, still quite a challenging angle to pull that off. Up comes the blue zone, but look at this Creeper just swinging all over the place now.
Really tried to go on ahead and stop that vehicle. Spring did. Just brought the buggy right on up to Yoshi there. Unfortunately, didn't quite get the hit or the spin out or anything that they were looking for, but maybe this is just going to go on ahead and incite a little bit of a chase. That'd be pretty exciting. All of them have to move anyway up to the northern side that they go. Up past Yasnaya, Poliana. Yeah, it looks like BTG, kind of interested in chasing, might just start chasing each other up towards the north. And speaking of north, this is a compound smack in the center that currently has 2 teams gunning for it. And obviously only one team is going to be able to be here by themselves.
Yes, that is 100% true. And Bullshark being so confident, he even knocks himself out of his own vehicle. That takes a next level of skill to pull off. I mean, I don't think I've ever been able to accomplish that myself. But I like where the zone has gone, though. Staying up in it towards the Stolberg region. This is definitely going to be so difficult for the teams to play. It will put them to the test. We get to see whether or not those strategies and those tactics can work out in their favor. But this is where AIM now needs to try and set themselves up. They have this pressure play coming through from the players of HQA Thirst, and with that, the 4 also look to advance even further forward. Still, the shots find their way on, and now the favor gets returned onto Creeper as he himself gets shot at. But fortunately, Spring is there for some moral support. But the 4, I like their approach here. They just come out swinging. Anything that moves, they will shoot. But now HQA Thirst find themselves running right up into AIM.
HQA really wanted to go on ahead and probably start meeting up to the standards of the other HQA, but unfortunately it looks like it's just down to Leo and one other left. I'm 5DD, don't quite know how to pronounce that, but these 2 now need to go on ahead and try to clean up the rest of this fight with AIM. 3 of them inside of this one building, but oh wait, actually one of them inside one of those little buildings. Didn't expect that at all. That means it's just down to the hands of Leo, able to get one of them down, but a 3v1 is very hard to pull off. Though we've seen it before, let's see if Leo will be capable.
Oh, this is going to be such a tough one. Look, up comes AIM. Yeah, I mean, one well-placed nade could be the end of Leo. Out comes the rush, just trying to get through the smoke. Oh, does the drop shot? It's going to pay off, though. Yes, the first one does come on. The pressure is on. Oh, but the continuous push coming through from AIM will eventually see HQA Thirst getting sent right back into the lobby. Meanwhile, as we jump over onto the 4, we can see them now trying to make their rotations coming in from that southeastern side. So many teams still positioned throughout the entirety of the map. We still have 13 teams remaining span, and we're in the 4th, almost the 5th phase.
Yeah, no, there's still a lot of people alive. I was gonna say, honestly, I feel like everybody is very much spread out, not even caring about potentially what spots are better than others in terms of going further inside of the game. They're just nicely staying spread apart, not even worrying about it, and of course, as you said, fighting exactly when they need to be. Such as this one, this compound very on the edge, BU Generation Z going for these reses now. That some of them are a little bit safe, but there's still enemies directly above them. And who is that? That is Team Chinekis. This team also scary. I wouldn't really want to be making a push against them because of their performances day one, but oh man, see, there's another example. Just singular nade, everybody's dead in a blink of an eye. BU Generation Z eliminated. Team Chineka is still alive with 3 up and 6 kills. They're insane.
Yeah, Mendez just absolutely insane, managing to survive through that entire fight with a mere sliver of health. But now we see the players here from Rave Esports also just looking to creep a little bit closer on towards Stolber. Up ahead, we of course see the players there from Game Changers. They do still look pretty strong as they've got the 3-man team remaining, where Rave Esports has now been reduced down to only 2. They have not had any luck just yet with regards to those kills, but that could of course still change at any point. Now, fortunate, and the players from the side of the 4 are finding themselves in a bit of a fight. Meanwhile, the game changers are going to be looking to get those rotations just strengthened up a little bit more. I think they're going to be heading a little bit further to the south in anticipation of where this next zone could potentially be moving.
No, it wouldn't be a bad idea just going ahead and grab the very southern side of those ruins. Right now they do have buildings, they have that nice hard cover, but honestly that doesn't always mean it's the best spot every time. We can also see that there's a lot of people over to the east, one of them being Team Chineka is finally going on ahead and pulling on up, but we can also see another team just driving on by. Team Supreme just going to be stopping right in front of them, and wait a second, they ran into a whole nother person. There's a solo right in front of them, or not a solo, somebody who's alone that's going to go on ahead and get knocked. Team Chineka, everybody honestly needs to be careful at this point because there are people absolutely everywhere. No place that they can really call safe, especially as Cyber actually goes on ahead, goes a little bit too far, and blows up in the buggy.
Hey, I enjoy me some vehicle explosions. It is always quite entertaining to watch. But now the pressure is going to be on up in towards Stolper. But we're yet to see where this next phase is going to go. Going to be moving up into. I mean, if it moves south, all these teams are going to be in a world of trouble. But this blue zone is about to pop, and this is where the pressure now just gets pushed further and further. And exactly, it shifts to the south. So everyone that has now made the rotations up towards Stolper now needs to get their butts all the way back down to the south, and this could actually be game-changing shift.
It definitely could be, especially actually because this is a pretty difficult spot, if I do say so myself, in that, oh man, okay, there's going to be some ridges, some terrain that these teams can play to actually separate themselves from, but not as much as obviously if it had pulled up into ruins into Stolber whatsoever, because it's basically a big open side of a hill. So these teams, they're probably going to be fighting along the edges, and whoever survives is going to be able to go on ahead and make it into this first zone. So up here on the north, I'm expecting only like one team to go on ahead and make it down.
I mean, if we look at the numbers, the 4, they are still sitting on 4, and they've got 4 kills. So I like the consistency with the numbers there. But of course, the players here from HQA Club not getting anything near to what they had in that first match. This time around, only sitting on 2 kills, but of course we still have 11 teams, so anything can happen at this point. As we can see those big migrations that are coming in from the north, heading straight towards that southern position. And actually the players from VTG, they started off in such a good position, but now they come under fire. As you can see, HQA Club is coming swinging into this. Tell no one, just further down the hill. But this is what I like about this position of the zone. It is so interesting to play. It really forces the teams to come up with those tactics and potentially find new ways of getting into these fights.
That's very true. Very nice prize coming in from HQA Club. No Way, No Mercy actually eliminated because of that. Just, oh my goodness. HQA Club is just on an absolute roll today. So now they're going to be coming from the north. It'll be interesting to see who else they're going to end up running into. And AIM Esports, the team that's been alive inside of this compound this entire time, it's now their time to shine as well, honestly. They just got to go ahead and continue to defend this spot, and they're going to be golden. Everybody else around them, I already said it, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to find a place to stay. 2 more teams being taken out in a matter of seconds. Rave Esports going out in 9th. 8 teams are left in HQA Club. Now they got to move in.
Yeah, up comes those big rushes, and I mean, look at these teams. You got a lot of edge play coming through now, but ideally, this could be the game in which AIM Esports just bring it home. They've got the compound to work with, they've got the angles, they've got a decent amount of numbers as well. They still have 3 players up and able to move. Of course, now Sub Big, our MVP from the previous match, just trying to get the lay of the land with that. Chiwang comes in with a beautiful head right on towards Goldie. Right now continuing to rotate a little bit further forward, but this is where it's going to get interesting because Tell No One are spread out on this side of the hill. Bright in a little bit of an exposed position, but of course Horse MIT just on the opposing side. Yar now getting hit at, and JP47 right there for some support, but out comes those utilities once again. The grenades getting sent straight on through. Will Bright be able to make it out of this one?
I don't know. This is looking a little bit scary. Tossing out a bunch of smoke, so maybe he'll be able to get right back into his vehicle and kind of drive to safety. But first, of course, he's going to see if these nades can go ahead and do the trick. Get the closest members of Tell No One out of here. But a little bit of damage from the side from Horse MIT. Going to kind of make him hide more behind that rock once again. Complete other side of the zone over to the eastern side. We can see that the Ford, we're trying to keep an eye on the Ford, see how they're going to perform. But against Game Changers, unfortunately, at least one is going to go ahead and fall. And this 2-2 split, realizing it's not going to work out, and now they're condensing to try and get rid of this. Got to be careful though, can't take too much of that blue zone damage that they're driving through, otherwise they're going to be taken out. Game Changers takes down another one.
Yeah, I'm still to see Pew Pew come in with a bit of that Pew Pew, putting the shots in. No confirms under the belt just yet. Of course, we got Bolty holding up for the players there from Game Changers position on the hill. Is going to come to Sharan now. Try and make a stand over on towards this eastern side, but the blue zone, of course, is going to be continuing to push forward, so they need to try and reposition. This is where AIM is now just positioned so beautifully. They can just sit and pick away at the teams in the vicinity, but the zone has shifted slightly over on towards that western side. Fate now trying to come flying up the hill. HQA still holding on with all of their players. They've now been pushed up all the way to 9 kills. Aura now looking to move in. They've set up a bit of dominance up in towards the northern territories of the zone, but will they be able to clear it out as they get ready to move a little bit further forward? We can see Mr. Lala there for Goldie Gaming up ahead. The mollies have been sent out. Game Changers get sent away right into the lobby, and the pressure and the stakes are just going to get even higher from this point forward.
Do not disagree, especially everybody's super spread out. Everybody should be at every angle. Even right here, Aurora could technically be being shot at by the people inside the compound. Obviously, they're a little bit too busy, wrapped up in the fight of their own, so HQA Club taking advantage of that can kind of do almost whatever they want in a sense. I mean, definitely looking towards hometown, trying to do some damage to them. Gonna try to be careful with some smokes as well. This next zone's going to close, and it's only going to get worse from here. 5 teams, 12 people alive. It's not looking too hot as Team Tanaka's actually goes on ahead and falls with a good amount of kills. They got 7, so not too shabby, and HQA Club now pushing the rest of the 4.
But the pressure is going to be on Aurora now, trying to bring in the shot. Picks up Sharon right there in the trade-off, but of course Zeus just holding on the opposite end of the vehicle, it seems, and Aurora hasn't spotted that just yet, so that could be actually a very surprising position. But of course, the players here from AIM are going to be looking to make a bit of a stand over on towards this eastern side, as they've been reduced down to 2. It is going to be Fate and Sam just playing the ridge lines, looking to see if they can find those angles. Goldie Gaming will get eliminated with not a single kill on board. They are only now down to those placement points, but now the pressure turns to Pew Pew to do a lot of that pew-pewing, trying to pick up any kills, just looking to push away the enemies of it. Man, this is going to be such a tough position, and with that, yeah, Pew Pew falls to quite a few Pew Pews coming in his direction. And now we're down to our final 2 teams. It is again HQA Club But this time we've got AIM Esports right alongside them.
Yep, and there's also only 5 people alive, and we can see that 3 of them are HQA Club. So it's 3v2. The 2 members of AIM not even inside zone. They have a little bit of a ridge there, but as you can see, it doesn't matter as SupPig tosses a singular nade, gets a knock at a 1, and another almost all the way down as well. The obvious push is coming through. Let's see what Sam's going to be able to do, and unfortunately the answer is not much. AIM Esports eliminated because HQA Club, they're on something right now. After their 25-game win last time, they're going to go ahead and follow it up with a 16-kill win with damage 3,120. Definitely like 1,000 damage point lower than last match, but still, as you say, DK, insane.
Yeah, as I say every single time. But of course, the players here from HQA Club just finishing 9 kills short of their first game's performance. So absolutely beautiful stuff coming from them once again. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that whatever happened in the HQA Club camp, you know, they got to share that with me, because this change is beautiful to see. They've just like come into their own, just bringing insane PUBG. But what is quite interesting to note is that they were riding on fairly low numbers of kills through a majority of the game as they pushed up into these later few phases, finding themselves alongside all the other opposing teams. That is where they just stepped up and started finding head after head after head after head. And I mean, that resulted in them finishing on yet another insane match.
I don't disagree. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that leaderboard, that match leaderboard really quickly to see what else everybody was able to pick up though, because I'm kind of interested. How many kills was everybody else able to pick up, especially in that chaotic of a location like that? Because I mean, you said it, DK, like they didn't have too many kills at the very beginning, but at the end, those end game fights were insane. Let's take a look at that leaderboard.
Yeah, it is going to be the moment of truth. Ooh, I like the suspense building up here. Of course, we've got our leaderboard sitting here. This is going to be some interesting numbers for the players from HQA Club. Already is sitting on 71 points for today alone. The players there from the 4 sitting on 35 points collectively, with AIM Esports currently on 27, Hometown 22. So we do see some decent numbers coming in, but of course we want to see an even greater improvement coming from the teams sitting from the 10th position moving downwards. As we know, the teams are fighting to be one of the 10 that will be moving through to the next phase. So who knows? I mean, Team Supreme, they were performing really strong yesterday, but so far it seems like they're having a little bit of a tough time here today.
I'm kind of confused by these numbers here. Wait a second.
These
numbers are pretty intense.
Yeah.
I know, it's just, they're insane. I'm like kind of getting blown away by this with the 71 to 1. No way. It's just obviously so top heavy. Like so top heavy here, that a couple of these teams have definitely figured it out. The rest of them, I think, need to go ahead and kind of, I don't even know. There's only one map left, DK.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, HQA Club, they've already gotten more than double the points of the next team hot on their heels, which of course the players there from the 4. But I'm curious to see how this reflects on towards our overall standings, where the teams find themselves after these first 2 games. And of course the answer to that is that HQA Club is on a runaway performance, sitting on a very comfortable 86 points, with of course No Mercy and Team Chineke is still very much neck and neck. But of course you can say exactly the same for Goalie Gaming as well as the 4. These top 5 teams have been showing some absolutely phenomenal PUBG.
I do not disagree. They've been playing some pretty good games today. Of course, I feel like it's kind of HQA Club day, but I mean, we saw No Mercy, Takis, and Goalie all play really, really well yesterday. So I guess they're just, letting some other teams have their chance to shine. The thing that I'm also more interested in, a little bit more, I don't know quite the word I'm looking for, concerned about maybe, is in 10th place right now, Rave Esports with 29. I mean, right above them is Game Changers with 36. That's not too far away, but this gap is just, we don't know who's going to go ahead and end up in the top 10 slots until after this very last match. Like, I can't even make any guesses.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to still be anyone's game to sneak up in towards those top 10. But I think on that, we are going to be jumping in to a quick break while we get ready for Sanhok to get loaded in for the teams to step up for their final performance on the last match here of day 2. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you guys back in a short few moments.
You can do it.
Hello and welcome back. We're getting ready to move in. It's our final match of the day. We're heading straight over on towards Sanhok, and if you've missed all of it, rewind and go look at the performances we've been seeing coming through from the players there of HQA Club. They've been just running away with these lobbies here today, Span.
They really have. I don't even know. They started in 11th place. They clearly did something last night. They were just like, okay, let's hype up the team. Let's go ahead and come in tomorrow better. And I mean, needless to say, they're doing better for sure. They're doing better, all right. First place already after 2 matches and 1 match left. I'm just curious to see how much higher they can go, honestly.
Yeah, and we saw already just after that second match, they've already been able to double the efforts of the team sitting behind them. And I mean, that is so beautiful to see. But I'm curious to see whether or not that is going to be the thing as we move up into Sanhok. As we know, it is the map where the players get absolutely punished for any of those small mistakes that come on through. The map really opens up for that to happen, and also forcing the teams to get into a lot more of those close quarter fights, as there's not a lot of space really to work with. So I've got some high expectations. Maybe we could see another beautiful performance coming through. But what I'm also looking to see is what the Mavericks are going to be doing with this. Of course, we're going to be jumping into our maps of the day just to remind you where we've been and where we're going as we move up into our final match. We've already completed Miramar as well as Erangel, and now we're getting ready to jump straight up in towards Sanhok. Now, Span, do you think this is going to be the map on which we could maybe see that performance come through from the Mavericks? As we know, they do find themselves in a little bit of a worrying position.
You know, I would like to say I hope so. I hope that they go ahead and have at least one good match today, because obviously they're here because for a reason, you know, they're able to make it all the way to this point. So I'd like to see them be able to pull something off, at least inside of the very last match. At this point, I think it's a little bit too late to be making it to the top 10 to be able to move on, but at least going ahead and go out with a bang, have some fun. So that's my hope. And Sanhok, I think, is the best place to do so because it's so unpredictable that all you have to do is go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah, and what's quite exciting also is that we know, regardless of where that flight path goes, it doesn't matter. All that matters is where the teams drop, where that zone forms, and of course, maybe we could see a little bit of that hot drop action come on through. We haven't really been having a lot of the hot drops as much today. I mean, the teams do seem to be respecting the positions a little bit more, but now it's time for that final match, and I don't know if the respect is going to come along with that, or the teams are just going to go to town and just get absolutely insane, get crazy, and just shoot everything that moves.
I want them to go crazy, so we'll see. We can see the top damage, the top players over there on the left as well. I gotta point out, it looks like HQA Aurora has gone ahead and taken that top spot with 9 kills, and are we surprised to see literally all of them say HQA, actually? One of them obviously has to be from the other HQA, but for right now, literally every single top 5 team person is from HQA. That's insane. But, of course, let's see. I don't know. Let's see where HQA is gonna go in the map, as well as this plane path is almost done, and people jumping on out. Looks like they're kind of pulling more towards the outskirts at the very beginning. Towards the end, though, a little bit more close towards the end. I want to see a boot camp fight. That's my only hope.
Yeah, of course we saw Bootcamp and Painan being nearly abandoned just yesterday, but this time around it seems to be Paradise Resort in Painan. So the team's not really playing that Painan position, but it makes sense looking at where the zone has shifted now, sitting all the way up in towards that northern territory. So the team's definitely being in a fairly close proximity to the zone itself, but the pressure is going to be on as the teams need to try and get those positions dialed in. Of course, Team Chanek is making their way through. We got the players here from the Desi Conquerors all the way over on towards that far southeastern side, with a team here from Future Esports right up ahead. Out goes the first nade, and Outlaw just narrowly being able to pull back up into hard cover.
Yep, and oh man, Legend really needed to go ahead and get at least one knock with that nade, because a 2v1 definitely not an ideal situation. Can hear him already going on ahead, swapping out some weapons. Can hear the bullets coming through as well. He's definitely going to be playing this a little cautiously. His teammate, though, we can see him in the distance. Oh no, that's not even his teammate. That's a different blue team. That's a little bit concerning here. We'll end up seeing what they're going to go on ahead and be able to do. Probably run up on top of the hill. Let's see what Legend and his teammate over there can pull off. As now the push comes through. Here we go. He gets a knock on one, but unfortunately the trade. That's to be expected. If a 2v1 happens, there's going to be a knock and a trade. For first blood goes to Fortune Esports. Let's see what Octus is going to do to get some revenge.
Well, I don't see a DBS in his hands, right? So now it's all down to the ARs. And it's quite interesting to see what the weapons these players like to favor as they make their way on through. But of course, Boss is on the approach. We saw that suppressor already locked and loaded. Of course, the players there from AIM and the Fall having a few swings at each other as well. But the pressure is going to be on the team here from Fortune now, having the opportunity to reset, get themselves all lined back up. And this is where Bean and Law now needs to make a little bit of a stand, because they still have a little bit of ground also to cover, so they need to be, aware of that rotation all the way back into the zone itself.
Yeah, one of their teammates is back down to the southern side of them as well. No way, Octus, no! I'm so surprised he just went inside that building without checking it out, especially vaulting into a building. That's so dangerous. Here comes Boss, though. Maybe he'll be able to come and get his teammate into safety, but still a 2v1 once again. I'm kind of surprised that Dusty Conquerors is kind of having this happen to them. I don't know. They ended up just straight on in. But let's see what Boss is going to do. He might pull off some Boss moves, take him down, but of course I think the shotgun's a little bit too strong, apparently.
Oh, you see, out comes the DBS once again as Outlaw comes swinging in with that one, and it's gonna be all down to Brar now to try and bring it through when we see a potential clutch come in. I mean, this is going to be quite the distance to try and cover. I think at this point it could be a little bit safer for Brar to maybe position himself in the zone instead of trying to focus his efforts on towards the players there from Fortune. Well, he could still do that, but do that well positioned within the zone instead of risking it out in the open, as we do have that blue zone, of course, closing in once again.
Everybody at this point, if they haven't already started making a move towards that zone, they got to go ahead and do so. It's almost to the halfway point on that movement bar. HQA Club, oh, it looks like they're kind of a little bit stuck because there's so many people right beside them. Wait a second. They're quite a ways away from each other from these positions here. I guess they're all just looting wherever they want. Now they're running on over. At least they're all near Hot 10. But that team just below them to the south, I feel like they're clearly kind of holding this position, probably after seeing HQA make a move here. Oh my goodness, and it's none other than Maverick.
Yeah, the team sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard and the team sitting at the top of the leaderboard getting ready to have a few swings here. But I mean, this could be an amazing performance for the players here of Mavericks if they are able to step up and get those angles on towards HQA Club. So far, it seems like HQA Club is completely unaware of the position of Mavericks, even to the fact that there is a team in the vicinity.
Yeah, I don't know. Maverick clearly looking for it. I feel like Aurora is a little bit suspicious. I feel like that's why they haven't quite left Hutton just yet. Obviously, they don't have to because they are inside the zone, but it looks like Aya is going to go ahead and give it up. Getting a knock onto at least one of them. HQA Club, if they didn't know before, definitely aware now. Nice find onto Aurora as well inside of the grass. Maverick this time starting off with a bang. Got two downed. One a trade comes through, but it's still a 2v3. Let's see if Mavericks are going to be able to actually see this through.
Yeah, it's all gonna come down to Sub, Big, and Bright to make the stand. But a beautiful sneak approach coming in from the players there of Mavericks, and I mean, yeah, just stepping up, you know, chopping their way through with those hits. Absolutely beautiful stuff. But will the Mavericks be able to now push forward, as they've already lost Beast as well, and it is now down to a two-man team, unless of course they can get that res up in towards Aya. You can see Kiwang and Bright, ooh, just riding that ridge line, playing those angles, but no, up comes No Mercy with the third party in from behind.
Wow, you know, we saw them on the overall map a bit ago, and I was kind of looking at it, wondering if something would happen with them, and I didn't think so, but, oh man, Maverick, they were just completely out in the open. I'm not surprised that ended up happening. Unfortunately, now Maverick is just down to one person. I was really thinking that this might be their game to go ahead and shine, pick up a few kills, and they did pick up at least one, but now No Mercy instantly shutting down anything else. The zone's also going to shift, basically going to center, so this left island is still going to be inside of this zone. Otherwise, the majority of the land is over there on the main island of Sandhawk, where everybody's going to be concentrating, but we're going to have to see these three teams just finish it out over here. And there's the other HQA team in Camp Alpha. Kind of curious if they're going to come and rotate into the fight.
Yeah, we do see a few points of contention now starting to build as the teams get ever closer and closer. But, I mean, this is still a beautiful play coming in from the side here of No Mercy, just finding their way up alongside HQA. You can see the slow, steady taps, of course, just right there on the screen. Gun now just scanning. We can see if any of those angles will open up. AIM, meanwhile, will find themselves alongside the players here from Goalie Gaming. As you can see, Zolda, I guess that is, Zeus, and Mr. Lala. Ooh, the grenade almost finds a little bit of damage. But will Sam be able to put that Ooh, pinpoint head in. Out comes the mollies as well, and a very spread out, but a good approach coming in from AIM Esports.
Slowly making their way on forward. Looks like Pia ended up spotting out Leah from goalie, trying to play on that rock sneakily. Didn't quite work out, and now AIM means that they have successfully held out all of goalie inside of that little compound there. They have now herded them inside of a singular building. So let's see if AIM's going to be able to figure that out and potentially continue the push onto goalie gaming. Gotta be careful though, because as you can see from Zeus's angle, they definitely have a sight on the walk down if they were to try and push aggressively. I doubt that that's going to happen just yet, though. They're clearly interested, as you can see from that mini map. They're definitely surrounding the area.
Yeah, it's a good setup coming in there from them, but now it is going to be up to the players from goalie to try and not only set themselves up, but actually make this whole play work out. Sam and Kilji now pushing in. Down goes Zeus.
Wow.
Ooh, 2 knocks. Is it going to be the final one? Yes, down goes Old. And with that, goalie gaming gets sent away right up into the lobby. But a good performance coming in here from AIM Esports.
Yeah, they really wanted those kills, and they just did it, honestly, flawlessly. Not a single one of them ended up really getting hurt, and that just a big push together, played it perfectly. But, of course, back up to the northern side, we can see Team Chinekes. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, day one, like the first 2 matches, they were pretty killer, literally. Played really well, and the last match didn't go as hot, ended up in 3rd spot. And now coming in here, I was maybe expecting them to come back with a little bit more fire once again, but it doesn't seem to be so. Doesn't seem to be that. They did get a knock there that was pretty impressive, but otherwise, let's see if they're going to be able to pull off something pretty nice in this one as well.
Yeah, these range pushes could sometimes be a little bit on the complicated side, but we definitely know that Team Chinekes, they have the ability to kind of pull off a push like that. And another nice hit coming in from the side of Team Chinekes. Oh, double hit though.
What? That's disgusting. Yeah, go on ahead and flush out those kills for your teammate really quickly. That's not very nice of you. Oh, Megalyn, what? That was disgusting. 2 bolty knock kills, like... Well, I guess that was the fire that I was talking about. They were just like, they heard me in the universe, and they're just like, gotta go ahead and show her, just single-handedly double bolt. That was pretty good. Now they're gonna continue on and see what other chaos they can cause.
Yeah, I mean, that was some pretty damn impressive shots. But of course, now we see a few rotations come through as the teams continue to head back up into the map. Ooh, actually, HQA Club up ahead once more. The players here from Tell No One just making a little bit of a splash here, but are they going to be able to find these angles? I mean, this could be quite interesting as they are now coming in from the north, actually rotating in behind the players there from HQA Club. And I mean, these are 3 teams that we've seen some pretty strong performances come from, not only just today, but also yesterday. So this is definitely going to be a fight to watch as the shots now come through from HQA Club once again, sending straight up in towards Team Chinekes. But this could be the angle to play, though. I mean, Tell No One just sneaking up from that northern side, fighting the angles on towards Team Chinekes.
I mean, they probably won't be expecting it whatsoever, right? Because they came from that area themselves. They're like, what are the thoughts? What are the probabilities that another team's going to appear in that direction? And right now, they're probably thinking that it's none. HQA Club, they got to move, though. So hopefully they're going to move before the other team ends up dropping up on top of them. But it looks like it's not going to be easy as Team Chinekes gets a knock into 1, almost gets a knock into a 2nd. There's 2 left down there, but Kazog definitely doesn't want them any closer.
But this is a very nice controlling position we see come in for the players here of Team Chinekes, just utilizing this ridge line, being in a position where they can suppress the advances coming through there from HQA. And I mean, now this puts HQA in a little bit of a compromising spot because they've got no mercy pushing in from the north. They've got the players here from Team Chinekes set up on the south, so they're going to try and make that play, but it does seem like Team Chinekes is turning their attention on that position into zone as they're now getting ready to move a little bit further on towards the south. We do see Supreme also set up not too far away either, but also right here on the crossroads. BU Generation just taking occupation of a lot of these compounds, and this is a very decent approach coming from them. They are able to gather quite a bit of information, and this is a good spot to actually be fighting from.
I don't disagree. We'll see how they're going to be able to use it to their advantage as well. We already said, you said yourself, that it's a nice place to be able to go and get some information. Looks like, oh my goodness, holding my breath, the Maverick. It's just down to Gem left. We knew this already. And an entire team just walked right on by. It's the other HQA Thirst. Sunny kind of being left behind. I wonder if Sunny's going to come back in this direction, and that'll give Gem an opening opportunity to get a down and a flush onto it. But if the entire team ended up walking by, that definitely wouldn't have been an ideal situation. I don't think they're coming back, though. Kind of looks like maybe they found a boat, is my guess.
Yeah, but this is where Gem is gonna have to try and make that decision, trying to make that call, whether or not they're gonna try and fight that out in the blue zone or potentially rotate up. Meanwhile, Tell No One are gonna be still pushing up in towards zone. They've now found themselves right up alongside the players here from Hometown. Bullshark and the rest of the team safely up in their buildings. Good to see Bullshark not being in a vehicle this time around, so no knocks could come from that, but the pressure is going to be on us. They still need to try and make that play. Horse MIT, meanwhile, will be moving closer to that position of the bridge, and I mean, that could actually be such a beautiful setup coming through there. Zohan is, of course, still alive, so I still want to see that performance from Zohan come through, but No Mercy now just up ahead.
I'm getting a little bit concerned with the split of this happening. I'm just running across this road without really stopping, looking, seeing where people were. This zone, though, kind of not caring about that fact, is going to hard shift down to the southern side. At this point, Tell No One, yeah, they need to start making a run for it and figure out where to play. But No Mercy, putting a stop onto at least one of them. They saw him running across the road, instantly going to punish and try to flush him out.
Yeah, Jose MIT about to wave goodbye as the lobby does approach. Khan and the rest of the players here from No Mercy now have the opportunity to pop a few hits towards Hometown, but they need to get those rotations in. As we saw, the zone has shifted all the way down to that far southern side, centering up towards Bootcamp. So at long last, we are going to be seeing the fights breaking out over in towards Bootcamp itself. Meanwhile, COVID-21 the squad up in the shack. Up comes Bright now approaching Paradise Supreme, also now getting their rotation sorted, but it again does seem like the players here from HQA Club are not entirely alone, so they still need to be a little bit cautious. If we can see Outlaw there from Fortune positioned up ahead. Meanwhile, the shots will find their way straight up in towards Jad. Oh, Jagger gets picked right on up. COVID-21 with a beautiful range spray.
And straight into the vehicle they go. They know that they have to go, get inside this next zone before the blue starts touching them, because this will do a pretty good amount of damage for the zone. The thing is that as they move, can't quite heal. COVID-21, a little bit scary situation to go ahead and be in, since he can't go ahead and heal while he's the one that's driving. Bunny, Kondo, this is up to them. They're about to run straight into more enemy teams, and that means that COVID-21 still might not have time to heal, especially as he's just ripped out of the vehicle.
Oh, that is so unfortunate, but now all the pressure turns to Bunny. Is he going to be able to hop his way around these shots? Meanwhile, the players here from Team Chanekes are coming under fire. Oh, it is down to Omeglin. Oh, the hits come through. No Mercy. Face Mercy is the beautiful hits come in, and it is now up to Bunny to try and keep it together. It's going to be a 1v1 fight for control off this northern edge of zone. Up comes the nade. Oh,
wow.
Goes Bunny. Team Chanekes getting their first kill on board.
That's insane. No way. And then immediately the next team is just eliminated. Team Chanekes is eliminated with another nade. Nade and nade kills right after another. That's pretty insane. Meanwhile, there's still a couple of teams that are trying to get into the zone from this northern side, as we can see here. Hometown still making their way across. They end up spotting at least one person from Tell No One, getting a knock into them as well, not letting them quite get close to zone here. And I feel like this is just going to be the theme for the entire rest of the time. Yep, look at that. Amy Sports even spotting out Hometown, taking shots in their direction. It's just going to be difficult for everybody.
Yeah, the beautiful position though coming in here from AIM. They are pushed up high. Oh, down goes Sunny. Oh man, Gilgy just swinging in with those hits though. This is an absolute beautiful stand coming in from players here of AIM Esports. Already 13 kills on board, 9 kills ahead of HQA Club. but will AIM be able to push all the way through into those final zones? Up comes Gem now for the Mavericks. Ooh, but HQA first, Leo and Vio just patiently waiting to see whether or not Gem is going to budge. Oh, they're doing some inspection. Leo about to spot out that play. Gem not really seeing a Leo just yet, so the gig is going to be up. Gem now having to swim all the way around. Meanwhile, BU Generation Z coming under quite a bit of fire. AIM getting one of their players knocked, but the showdown now happening between Supreme and BU Generation with getting picked up out in the open while trying to make that quick reposition, quick reactions for BU Generation Z.
Honestly, I think if BU Generation Z didn't get that kill, there was a whole nother team up to the northwestern side that would have spotted him out, running out in the open there. So BU Generation, they just ended up seeing him first through that window. The rest of the teammates were still in that line of buildings with them, so hopefully they'll have a little bit of an easier time trying to get inside zone. AIM Esports still just being absolutely insane, spotting out even more people trying to come out of these usual locations the majority of people are playing inside of. Still 4 up on the very top of this mountain. They haven't really been contested just yet, but it's only a matter of time. Meanwhile, HQA Thirst, though, they really, really want Maverick Gem. It's kind of sad, and it looks like, wait a second, they'll be able to pick it up. Tell no one, though, there's another person in that water right beside, and they didn't end up seeing them.
Yeah, it is going to be a pretty tough position to get out of there, as we can see that blue zone, of course, closing up. Once again, we are in the 6th phase. That blue zone should be closing up in the next 20 seconds or so. But here we go. AIM Esports asserting quite a bit of dominance here, as they still have all 4 players up, looking to push through, clean up the zone. We can see players there from Game Changers positioned up into Bootcamp itself. They still have 3 team members alive. HQA Club now being reduced down to only 2. Raiden and the rest of the team here from the Game Changers are going to be looking to make their push up from that southern position, but it is going to be a very difficult play whichever way they go.
And HQA Club. Pig trying his best to heal and get inside this zone, but we can see just how much that zone is just ticking him down. Game Changers, nice nade, honestly. Getting a nice little bit of damage on the Salmon with that next spray with that M4. Rave Esports, first of all, eliminated, but getting a knock onto AIM Sam. That means that the push can finally start happening. It looks like Game Changers kind of stuck on the other side, but it's just down to Raiden as the other one got knocked. Gotta go ahead and flush it out or push with the advantage before the res comes through.
Yeah, it is going to be a very tough position to be in, and with that, KillG comes in with the hit on towards Raiden. It is now up to Coldy to try and survive all the way out in the blue. Now just utilizing all the meds at their disposal. Of course, we can see QT positioned up in towards Paradise, also now opting for that blue zone hill strat. But AIM Esports, 18 kills on board. They have absolute control of this phase of the zone. And we can see the players there from HQA Thirst just positioned on the hilltops behind them. Oh, KillG gets second right on down as Leo steps up with a hit.
A little bit surprised they decided to run out in the open like that on that warehouse. Like, if they're not in the warehouse, where else do you think they would be? They would either be on the northern side by those rocks, or they would be up on top of the hill to the northeastern side. So AIM Esports, a little bit of a misstep right there, but they still have 3 up and they still have the zone. So they can still turn this around, or they can still win this game. It looks like some of our blue zone dwellers are starting to dwindle now as BU falls short. HQA still alive, and it looks like HQA Club just on the very edge of this zone trying to survive as well. Spudge out the other HQA. So, I mean, HQAs could potentially go ahead and mess this up for each other, but in the end, I feel like AIM, I feel like there's no way that they could lose this, but of course we have to wait and see.
Yeah, oh, look at the nades back and forth. One getting sent either which way. The shots now finding their way up into Sam. Down he goes. It now turns to Fate. Up comes Subbig from the side. Finds the shot right on towards them as Bayak gets taken down. Fate now having to hold on for dear life, trying to get that res. With that, of course, we do see Team Supreme getting eliminated as well as HQA Club. It is now down to our final 3 teams. It's going to be AIM Esports. It's going to be Game Changers as the hits find their way in. HQA first get eliminated. Oh, Span, this is going to be neck and neck. Who will clutch it out? AIM already on 20 kills. Look at Sam. So happy. Fate also just celebrating. Can't really blame them for that. and they have the entire zone to themselves. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be their game. Goldie.
33.
Goldie.
Goldie, how did you get 33 first aids? The thing is that it's over. I wonder if he's thinking maybe he's in third place right now, gonna hold on a tiny bit longer because he sees that there's 3 alive right now. Maybe he's like, okay, I'm gonna keep holding on for a little bit longer. Honestly, do you think that he might be able to out-heal them in the circle?
It could be possible. I mean, nothing is out of the realm of possibilities here, right? So,
oh my goodness, he's all the way by Sami.
Yeah. I think he started healing already in like phase 1. I think that's what Goldie did, right? He went out looking for meds while everyone else was fighting, so he could sit there with his 33 meds and just heal it up. But I mean, this could very well happen. I think once we get into that final phase, that is where the damage from the blue zone is just going to be absolutely insane. But, you know, we could still maybe see the players in the safe zone itself getting caught up once this blue zone starts closing in.
We'll have to see. It looks like they're getting ready. One of them only has 1 first aid, but I believe the other one had 10. Yeah, they're just giving them all to fate actually right now because they know it's going to come down to a heal off, I guess. They're slow. They have 11 right now, and we can see that Goldie has 21. No, but he cannot heal in time. I was kind of hoping that they would at least be touching the blue zones, but AIM Esports obviously deserved that win. There were 20 kills and 2809 damage. Almost got the most kills for today, but 20. Wow, AIM Esports played that well.
Yeah, they came into this match with their aim set really, really high, and that is exactly what they aimed to accomplish, and they pulled it off successfully, so well done, well played. 20 kills, also very impressive, but I mean, their conversion rate was really good as well. They finished off with only, what, like 2,100 damage being dealt there, or 2,800 damage being dealt, so converting that into only 20 kills, that is very impressive. Where we saw the players, of course, from HQA Club coming in with an excessive amount of damage being dealt from their side, with probably about like 11 kills worth of damage dealt more. So yeah, big ups to the players there from AIM Esports. What a way to close out the final match of the day. But of course, we need to see how the points are looking, what these teams were able to bring in, and where they've then been able to secure themselves, because we know that only 10 teams will be able to move up from here onto the next phase.
Yep, these 10 teams will go ahead and meet with the 10 teams from week 1, and then they're going to go ahead and battle it out for North America Campus Series. I mean, interested to see where all the points came from for this match. So we're probably going to go ahead and jump into that leaderboard first before taking a look at that overall. And let's go ahead and do it right now. Take a look at that leaderboard, DK.
Yes, leaderboard loading on up. Of course, the players there from HQA Club sitting on a grand total of 84 points for the day. AIM Esports sitting on 62, the 4 on 35, with HQA Thirst sitting on 30. I mean, some pretty impressive numbers looking at our top 10 teams, with Team Supreme being the team in 10th position with 10 points on board as well. Of course, Fortune Esports, Fortune not favoring them all too much just yet with regards to the points. But we got to see how today's overall points impacts our overall standings to see who are our 10 teams that could be moving through to the next phase. We know, of course, that the teams already set up quite a bit of a performance just yesterday, but who's going to be the ones if we take today's performances into account? Of course, no more time to wait. We're going to be seeing who that is. And, well, there we go. There we have it. We'll look at those numbers, though, for HQA Club.
HQA Club, by the way, started today with 15 points and went and picked up 84. They almost got 100 points for 6 matches. That is insane. So of course, congratulations to the top 10 teams. That's going to be HQA Club in first with 99, AIM Esports 77, Team Chinekis with 63, No Mercy with 61, Goalie Gaming 55, the 454, Tell No One 50, Game Changers 49, HQA Thirst 42, and of course Hometown in that 10th place spot with 38.
Yeah, of course, BU Generation missing that one with just one single point. But at least, well, Span, we got both the HQAs moving through. We got Thirst and Club, so they'll have yet another opportunity to duke it out to see who is the supreme one. I mean, so far it's leaning towards Club, but who knows? Maybe Thirst could look to prove them wrong. Unfortunately, the players there from Rave Esports, BU Generation Z, Team Supreme, Fortune Esports, VTG, Desi, Conquerors, and of course the Mavericks have not been able to secure enough points in the games here today. But yeah, we are going to be looking at our MVP as well as our MVP player for the day. And our MVP team, no surprise, is going to be the players here from HQA Club. As you can see, almost 9,000 damage dealt with 46 kills, and at least 6 of those being grenades.
Yep, 6 of them being grenades. Perfect. That's all I'd like to see. I mean, it's still just amazing as well. I'd like to point out that 46 kills, 25 of them was just in the first game. So they had an amazing first game, and they still continue to pull off pretty good games for the second and third as well. I say pretty good. They're still amazing, but after that first match, I mean, the expectations kind of skyrocketed at that point.
Yeah, well, they were able to hold on to that as they moved into that second match, but it was pretty tough coming into the third one. I see now that Colty said he had 66 first aids, so well done.
Wow.
That is pretty impressive stuff. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that many.
I don't think I've seen that many. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that many in a singular match. But yeah, okay. So HQA Club as a team is MVP. I would have to assume as well that the player is probably from HQA Club as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and hold my breath and see if it's right. And yeah, it is. I am correct. HQA Sup Pig going on ahead with the first MVP. That is a lot of damage. 24, 43, 13 kills, 9 assists, and at least 1 grenade kill out of the 6 that they had.
Yeah, that of course, so we can see his distribution or his contribution for the team there. 28% of the damage dealt from, you know, the team has been done at the hand there of Sup Pig, as well as 16.7% of the grenade kills, and then 30%. Wow, that is still that is a really good performance coming in across the board for the entirety of HQA. Yeah. I mean, the whole team just playing absolutely phenomenally here today, and who knows? I mean, this is making me quite excited to see what the teams are going to be bringing in once we get into that next phase. Already the first week had its own kind of flavor, its own kind of style to how the teams were performing there. And as we moved into the second week, the teams also, they didn't disappoint. They just stepped up. They just brought in some beautiful PUBG action. And it's going to be quite interesting to see both the week 1 and the week 2 teams meeting each other as we move into that next phase.
Well, there's a lot of teams from week 1 that impressed us. Week 2, even more teams have impressed us. So now, I don't even know what to expect once they go against each other. It's a completely new lobby once those 20 teams go on ahead and start duking it out. So I want to see who's going to come out on top. We might see some interesting results, or we might see stuff that we're not surprised by. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see what exactly that will be. But of course, that will come in what I think 2 weeks from now, as we do have, you know, Thanksgiving and all that coming in as well. Just to, you know, giving the teams a little bit of a opportunity there to, you know, get back to the basics. You know, family is always important, but well, there was something that the director was about to say, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be said just then. So it seems like that is going to be all for us here today as we wrap up our second week of the campus series. So thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the teams for bringing in some absolutely fantastic PUBG action. We look forward to seeing you all back again as we move into the next phase. So be sure to stay tuned. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do that down below. Look out for all the links in the description as well. Go follow the PUBG Mobile Esports NA on all their social media to stay up to date with all the events. But with that, thank you so much. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic time. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Stay safe and see you all later.